Examples, we are going to work on converting angles in degree measure to radian measure and vice versa. The two formulas that you need in order to convert from degrees to radians or radians to degrees is knowing that 1 degree equals pi over 180 radians, and also that 1 radian equals 180 over pi degrees. You can obviously memorize these if you want. The way I approach this is I like to use a formula that I know already, or an equation I know already, a relationship between degrees and radians. And I know that 180 degrees is halfway around the circle, and so is pi radians. And so if I want to derive these two formulas, let's say the first one, that 1 degree equals pi over 180, all I would do is I would divide both sides of the equation by 180. And so you see 1 degree ends up being pi over 180 radians. And for the other formula right here, if I want to get that one, I just divide both sides by pi to isolate 1 radian. And you'll see right there that becomes 1 radian equals 180 over pi degrees. Okay, so once you have these formulas down, let's use them to convert from, first let's use it to convert from degree to radian measure. So if I have 900 degrees, what I like to do is I like to write this as 900 and then actually write out degrees, or at least DEG. And then do the conversion. I know that 1 degree equals pi over 180 radians, so I'm going to convert now. Pi over 180 radians. And that becomes 900 pi over 180 radians. Now what do I do with that? What I do with that is I look at the 900 and I look at the 180 and I try to see if they have any factors in common. So what I realize right here is that 900 and 180 both have a factor of 60. So I can divide both top and bottom by 60. And that gets me 15 pi over 3. But I notice I can actually factor again. I can factor by 3. On top and bottom, and that gets me 5 pi over 1, which just simplifies to 5 pi. And for now, I'll put the word radians. Okay, and then I can do something similar with another example. So let's say I have 80 degrees. I can work that one similarly. I will switch this 80 degrees. Instead of using degrees, I will write pi over 180 radians. And once again, we're going to look at for common factors of 80 and 180. And you can tell, maybe you're able to tell that 80 and 180, they're both divisible by 20. And so let's go with that. That becomes 4 pi over, this is 30, no, I'm sorry. This is going to be 9. And can I simplify it anymore? No. So that's my answer. Okay, now what about the other direction? Let's say I have 4 pi over 5 radians, and I want to switch it into degrees. I'm going to use this formula right here, because I have radians, and I'm going to express it in degrees. So this becomes 4 pi over 5 times, instead of writing radian, I will write 180 over pi degrees. And notice what happens a lot here. This is going to happen for a lot of these examples here, is you're going to have a pi involved and it's going to reduce. Right here. And so right now we have 4 times 180 over 5 degrees. What we can do is we can divide both top and bottom by 5. Because I know 5 goes into 5, and it also goes into 180. And so this becomes 4 times 36 over 1 degrees, which just simplifies down to 144 degrees. I can either write it as degrees, the word degrees, or I can write it as 144 with the degree symbol, that circle in the upper right hand corner. Either way though, I get the answer. Alright, last but not least, negative 5 pi radians. Let's convert that to degrees. So I'm going to write negative 5 pi, and I'm going to replace radians with 180 over pi degrees. Just like in the last example, you see that the pi's are going to reduce to 1. And so all we have there is negative 5 times 180, which actually ends up being negative 900 degrees. All right, and that's all there is to converting from radians to degrees and vice versa. So either memorize these formulas. 1 degree is pi over 180, and 1 radian is 180 over pi. Or, like I do, I just memorize that 180 degrees is the same as pi radians. And I use that to derive the two other formulas that I'm going to use.